What are the Soliskin? It's a question I often find myself wondering, because beneath these small, warm, silly creatures, they always felt like there was something deeply human about them. And the more I explore Laharoi, the more I realize the Soliskin may have never simply been creatures born from the Exostrider, but remnants of something that once existed before them. And perhaps that story begins long before Laharoi itself. The first Royans were met with something they could never stop. The Void Storm. A force that did not merely destroy, but erased. Their existences slowly faded into nothingness. The civilizations they built, their memories, their traces, all disappearing beneath the Frostlands with no way to save themselves. And it was in that moment the Exostrider arrived. Seeing their demise, hearing their panic and dread, he chose to encase his reactor drive deep within the ice, creating the first warmth Laharoi would ever know, an artificial sun beneath the frozen world. Its warmth would shape the vast ecosystem of Laharoi, and perhaps that's why even now, the people of Laharoi often speak of feeling the heartbeat of the Exostrider in their everyday life. Why both the Soliskin and the Exoswarm feel so warm, so familiar, close. And perhaps that's the true beginning of Laharoi. Not merely a fight for survival, but a preservation against oblivion. But perhaps warmth alone wasn't the only thing the Exostrider preserved. Because over time, new life would begin to emerge beneath the Frostlands. Small, playful little creatures. The ones we know today as the Soliskin. They carried frequencies similar to the Exostrider, sharing its warmth, its light, and even the ability to briefly repel void matter. Yet, despite their small forms, the Soliskin possessed something strangely human. They laughed, dreamed, wandered, and each one carried personalities entirely their own. Stars dot the skies, decorating children's dreams. The galaxy reflected our eyes, will one day slowly fall into eternal slumber in the starry skies. And perhaps that's what fascinated me the most, because among all the Soliskin, each frequency feels unique, almost as if they carry traces of people once forgotten, their emotions, their aspirations, and maybe even fragments of their existence itself. The soul is a collection of memories, emotions, and frequencies. We believe in the eternity of the soul. The soul is the past. The soul is memory. The soul is the very mark humanity leaves upon the world. And perhaps even the embodiment of life itself could not preserve everything that was once erased. The souls can often feel like incomplete remnants of people who once lived. Their memories faded, their identities lost, yet somehow their warmth remained, even with only fragments of themselves left behind in this world. The Soliskin still chose kindness. They help one another. They protect Laharoi and continue chasing warmth beneath a world that nearly forgot them. Maybe that's why they feel so childlike. Not because they are incomplete, but because their dreams and emotions were the strongest parts that remained. And perhaps these are the strongest traces of who they were left behind. And maybe that's why the final act feels so deeply human. So where exactly do the Soliskin return to? Throughout Laharoy, we see them slowly return to the Solis tree, the physical forms dissolving into warm light, flowing through each vine, each branch, and each root, until eventually they reach the one place all Soliskin return to, the Solvein Heartwood. Deep within the dimmer plains lies a massive tree whose branches stretch endlessly across the sky, almost as though it embraces the entire world beneath it. And at its center, a radiant warmth, a light that parts the heartwood itself, like a sun buried deep beneath the Frostlands. The light of countless Soliskin flowing endlessly through its roots, returning once more to the place they all eventually call home. And the more I looked upon the heartwood, the harder it became to see the Soliskin as simple creatures. Because beneath all the beauty lies a tragic reality. The Soliskin do not return merely to rest. Their warmth, their light, their frequencies become part of the Keystone Seal itself, a seal created to close the strategy and protect humanity. And perhaps, among all the warmth created within Laharoy, these were humanity's final wishes: to live, to protect, to be remembered. 1,000 flames, all burning as one. And maybe, just maybe, that's why the Soliskin stuck with me for so long. It's often forgotten that we aren't remembered only through our aspirations, or the memories the world may one day lose, but through everything that makes us who we are. Our emotions, our warmth, the traces we leave behind upon this world. So, even if rebirth is but an illusion, and the world eventually forgets, the traces we leave today, tomorrow, and through every day of our lives, will remain here, never to be erased.
Starlight,